didn't expect a Call of Duty post to go that colourful.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there.
Hey.
Sorry, we're just looking at Tinder.
Nudes.
No. Okay. Well, okay. What Marseille means by that is we're looking at noodles.
Yes.
Yes, of those good 2-minute noodles that are sponsoring this show. More on that.
Never.
This is the StuffCast. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. Again, we're on a Friday, which isn't ideal because we meant to be on Thursday.
But also, load shedding isn't ideal.
But load shedding isn't ideal either. In fact, one might argue that it is less ideal.
It's not Ayoba.
It is, if I may use a word that I've created myself. It is anti-Yoba.
Anti-Yoba.
Yeah, anti-Yoba, which I thought was very funny. I thought it was very good. I really put a lot of hard thought and effort into that. Yes, this is the StuffCast. We're here to talk about the week's news and catch up on the latest video game goings-ons and playings thereof of bad and good games and devices. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we are doing. And let's kick off to you, Marseille. What have you been up to this week? Actually, no. Before we get into that,
Yeah.
what was your week?
Good. It was long.
Good chat. Good talk.
Last week we had 4 days, and this week we had 5, so it felt longer.
Last week did feel like we had 4 days though.
No, I didn't.
Like you just.
And we had chip and dip.
We did have chip and dip on the Friday, and we did not have chip and dip today. You did go and get us hot dogs.
We had hot dogs, so
that was good. That was a nice.
Good lunch.
That was a very good lunch. What have you been? Have you been playing anything this week? Have you been messing around with phones?
So after, I don't know. So I had the Note 20 Ultra 5G, a mouthful.
That's the Samsung.
The Samsung for 5 days previously, only after launch, and then they took it back, and then we just got 2 new Samsung devices to test today.
Yes, we did.
So we're gonna be playing some mobile games on those next week.
Well, we're gonna play Fortnite, but
we can also play PUBG with Richard.
We actually need to do that again.
Yeah.
It's been a while since
we should definitely.
Yeah, we should set them up.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on the Moto 20 then as a gaming?
It's expensive.
That's true.
It's pretty.
Also true.
But it's an expensive phone.
How good did it write?
How good did it write?
Like, you can't really talk about the how nice it is to write on specific phones. I mean, yes, you could sort of do that for every phone.
It is nice to write on it.
Is it?
It's fun to write on it.
So Samsung's whole thing was, look at this amazing pen we've made. It's so intuitive. It's exactly like a pencil. What was it really as I remember watching that press conference and thinking, oh yeah, it's a stylus.
It is a stylus.
You guys have made a stylus.
You know what the coolest thing is? This is not gaming at all, but
no, it's not.
You can use it as a button, like a presentation button, away from your phone. The stylus, it has a button on it.
Okay.
So like a remote controller, and you can use it as for remote pictures. Take a picture from far, or to take video from far.
Okay, that's quite cool.
So you can control it with air gestures. You can even zoom in and out without touching the phone.
With the stylus.
With the stylus.
Well, then what's the point of the stylus?
It's cool.
The thing is, they make a whole point about look how intuitive it is. Now, when you touch, there's no delay, but also don't touch.
No, you do touch.
But you cannot also touch. You can do both touching and not touching.
Sure.
It's just like a high school dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that. So you played. So you played what you played.
I played Fortnite on it. It worked.
Okay.
It was the first time ever I played Fortnite on mobile as well.
How did you? Was that before all the nonsense started going down? Which we'll get to.
Oh yes, yeah, it was
so
before that. It's actually interesting.
Yeah,
I made a tweet, right? When I did the play with the Note 20.
Yeah.
I said I have to get some gaming in before they take it away from me. But I was
yes, I do remember that. Oh my god.
But I was talking about the phone.
And then Apple took Fortnite away from you too.
Well, Google, but yes.
Oh, Google, sure, yeah, Google.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And
dude.
people were actually commenting. They were like, "Oh no, you can just sideload it. Don't stress." And I was like, "This was way before this happened."
Before that.
Yeah, so
That's wild.
that's funny. Yeah.
Dude, I love that. That's really cool.
So when did this happen? Last week, end of last week.
It would have been
Friday.
Friday. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
I still want to talk to you about Fall Guys.
You're not allowed.
I'm not allowed to talk about Fall Guys. Why?
Why? Because it's illegal.
Is it illegal to talk about Fall Guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
I need you. No, well, slow down. You've taken me on this. You've taken me on this mind journey with you. This mind bits of illegal obstacle jumping beans. Please do tell me why is Fall Guys illegal?
They are psychedelic beans.
Okay. Why? Okay. What
Okay,
are your thoughts on Fall Guys?
So we've all been playing it. He's played it today for the first time.
Yeah.
You played it with me last week. You
didn't
didn't like it. I played it again this week because
I don't like fun though.
you don't like fun.
I'm
You
not a fun person.
like sad stuff.
I like being sad, and I like being melancholy. Like a fun mixture of happy answer. Anyway, tell me about.
I wouldn't describe it as good for you. Okay.
Yeah.
I like party game style games. It's a lot of like stuff happen all the time, so you never like bored or need to focus. But
it's a constantly moving.
Yeah.
Else,
and it's highly entertaining to watch.
That I will give it. I'm not a fan of playing it, but the clips and the content part of it,
so fun,
fantastic.
And it just reminds me of Takeshi's Castle, and I loved watching.
Original one. I haven't got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually probably good. What is playing? I was initially the fact that this. I feel like that is such a huge
It really should
step.
have that. You should tweet them.
You should actually tweet them.
Because their Twitter is really good.
Their Twitter is lit. If anyone wants a good, this is
some
the Twitter account.
entertainment. Go check it out.
Twitter account recommendation of the week. Check out the Fall Guys Twitter account because it's fantastic.
It's
really,
great.
really. Shout out to the one guy that commented, "This game is being ruined by casuals." But I think you kind of missed the point.
I don't think it's not like an esport yet. So let's calm down.
I don't know if that's someone Darren over at Critical like game that if you play it for like a stretch of time will be excessively.
Oh yeah,
of
course
If
it will.
you play 50 today for like lunch or on lunch break, best thing you could do with that lunch break. Yeah.
No, I agree.
And I think that's a really good like point of comparison.
Yeah.
Because I remember playing with you, I was just like, "Oh, is this?"
It's a nice chill game. Oh, no, it's not chill, but like a chill out session.
Yeah.
You can play this game for a while with friends or online or whatever.
Yeah.
But not in the long term.
No, definitely not in the long term. Because I remember playing it with you, and I was just like, "This is it."
But maybe they bring out new content all the time. Like they will.
Yeah, they will definitely bring out new maps, and I think they already added them.
But it's not going to be a competitive title.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be.
If it becomes one, I'm going to be highly skeptical of the esports industry.
Yeah. I think Fall Guys has a very low skill gap, and that anyone can just pick it up and play it, right? And I'm not sure how I would talk about its skill ceiling because I don't know if it has one. I don't know if there is there is an element of skill to it, right? But if you look at something like say Counter-Strike, that is a high skill ceiling, right? There's a lot of things you have to master in that game. Whereas Fall Guys is just you move, you die.
There's just that much that you can do.
Yeah, there's no real like tactics or strategies or techniques you learn to be good at that game, you know?
Like the best thing you can do is grab onto people so they can't move.
Yeah.
But then you don't move either.
Then you don't move either. So it's just, So I don't know. People who want to call that game a hardcore competitive game, I think are very much. I don't even think it's going over their heads. I think they're ducking purposely. If that makes any sense. Anyway.
I agree.
Yeah. What else did you want to talk about? You wanted to talk about the Asus machine?
Yeah. So I was testing the Asus Zephyrus Duo 15.
You got it.
Yeah, and it's
First time, did you?
it's the follow-up of the Asus machine that I use, which is the Asus ZenBook Duo Pro Duo.
Okay.
That launched last year.
Got it right first time.
Hey, so but this time they made it more like gaming focused. That one was more like worky, businessy. This one's very gaming, and it has a second display above the keyboard that lifts slightly when you open the laptop. You can't control it yourself, which I thought you could, but you can't. It opens as the laptop opens, and
so you can't like lie it flat?
No, well, not. I was too scared to press on it.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I had it for a very short amount of time, so I didn't want to break it.
Before you go on, I wanted to ask about the second screen, because the second screen strikes me as like this. What do you do with it? What's the point of the second screen?
So,
because it's not a full screen. It's like a sort of a wide bar.
It's like half of a full screen.
Yeah.
But what's ideal? It's ideal for people who multitask a lot, like designers and gamers. Like when we were playing The Forest, I had Discord on the bottom screen as well as the Restream chat, so I could monitor. So you can
basically throw whatever app you want.
You can. It's like parts of the whole desktop, so you can put it whatever you want there. It resizes to that scale, and you can monitor chat or have your Discord running or Spotify, or like if you're a designer, you can have your color palettes there, and like it's very, very useful if you need more space.
Yeah.
Like more screen space without needing to plug in a separate screen, which is cool. Like I think a lot of people will find it handy, especially gaming.
How much is it?
A lot. There's a few zeros in there. I think it's the most expensive laptop I have used in my life. Yeah, it's the most expensive
one that I've come across.
But the most expensive machine we've used was that Mac Pro.
Yeah, no, it was
insane.
Was like,
over $1 million.
No, it was way over $1 million. I think it was
almost 2 million. I can't even remember.
I think it was roughly.
They were different.
It was 7, wasn't it?
They were different specs.
They were different tiers. The highest one was 100 million.
Yeah, dude, it's insane.
No,
so we use that, but that doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
The Zephyrus is 90,000 rand.
Okay.
Like
you've got to be.
It has like high end hardware in it, right? Obviously.
RTX card.
Clearly. But is it like you can build a PC with the same components for far less, and that's where users will make the choice.
And you just get a second monitor as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I actually got around to hooking up my second monitor this week.
Oh, nice.
Because it was sort of just sitting on my desk, and I had my NES Mini plugged into it, which was quite cool because you can like just set the NES Mini to just be on standby mode, and then just like plays demos of the games that are on it, which is really nice to like watch. But now on this, who knows it? It was on Wednesday evening. I was like, I want to use the screen proper. So I went in and I got an HDMI cable in the back of the screen. Oh, back of the card, only one HDMI cable or port. Well, okay. Next, let me see if I can find a display port or display cable thing adapter. Nope, not one of those. VGA, nope, that's not going to work either. I did then find in a box that we moved from the office a VGA to HDMI adapter.
Oh wow!
I know.
Those things are, dude. If you can find one ever in your life, anyone, just buy it because they are so useful all the time.
I just found it like in the drawer. Remember when we were moving offices from Caxton? I just found it in the drawer and I was like, I think I could probably use this at some point. Turns out I could. So now I have my second display hooked up. And I got my
those things are so useful.
What, second displays? Yes, very much so.
No, those little I love like adapters.
Yeah,
dude.
no, they're great. So I've been getting a lot of value out of like having a second monitor lately. It's been really, really nice. What have I been playing this week? I haven't used hardware. You're sort of a hardware person, more generally.
What games have you been playing?
I have been playing. There's 2 games that
you want to talk about? Sorry, yes. I remembered which one you wanted to talk about. Which one was that? Mortal Shell.
So I want to talk about Mortal Shell.
Yeah.
Because that was...
Did you do your review?
Did my review for it. It's up on Critical Hit now.
Nice.
I think the review went up on Monday. Yeah, that was when the embargo was. I wanted to talk about it last week, but I couldn't because it was an embargo. But now I can say whatever I want about it. And it is maybe the closest thing we have had to a proper homage to the original Dark Souls since the original Dark Souls. Which is to say that it is both very good and also has some really, really, really bad design choices within it. It's got everything you want from that sort of that style of game. You got your slow combat where you have to commit to your move. You got to time it well, and you'll die over and over again because you got to memorize your enemies' patterns. You got the weird twisting world, all the different paths coming back in, and you got to learn it yourself. Those are the sort of the pillars of that sort of style of game. Where Mortal Shell deviates slightly is that rather than leveling up skill points, abilities and whatnot, it's almost like a skill tree, except what you do is you spend points to unlock memories of the shell that you're embodying.
Okay.
So the story is that you're this I don't know if to really clarify.
So what are you?
Basically, you look like this weird ghost thing. You look like
a spirit.
Spirit, yes, but he's got like an 8-pack, like he's torn to shit, just ripped. Yeah, it's wild, dude. It's wild. Like imagine Voldemort, but like he just lifts massive like weights at the Iron Church. Like that's all he does. That's what your character looks like. The whole thing is that, despite being just utterly cut,
so is that now the shell or the?
So that's you as a person, and despite having being the most immaculate definition, you have you have minimal HP. So you have to basically, which doesn't make sense. Sure.
You're like. You're literally
those bodybuilders that just do it for show, but if you actually ask them to pick up like a chair, like they pull a muscle and like their bum or something, you know.
Can I tell a story quickly?
Tell me a story.
So we went on holiday when I was little. My father is like this big Afrikaner oomie, right? But like big. And we had this sports thing at the pool, and all of the people that were camping came there. And there was this dude who was a bodybuilder. Can't remember his name. Dude, next level. So he challenged my father to a rope tug of war over the pool. Dude, it was so embarrassing for him because that's
the bodybuilder.
Yeah, because my father, because he has weight, he has the weight, so he like anchored into the ground and just pulled this massive dude into the pool, and everyone was like, oof.
Oof. Is that what everyone said? Is it just going oof?
No, just like softly. They didn't really say
it. They didn't really say it.
But that's what I'm imagining.
He got out
that
and cried.
So it's that.
He cried, didn't he? Bodybuilder, he got out and
probably,
cried.
and the water on him was like
reflected, like he was just like, I'm not crying. I'm just glistening from the water and the oil that I obviously sprayed all over my body.
So it's that dude.
He's that dude. So in order to win the tug of war with your dad, he has to take on different shells, which are basically corpses that have died in this world. And to unlock abilities, you spend the currency is tar.
Tar,
like tar. Spelled like tar. Yeah, that's the name of the currency.
What does the icon look like?
It's like it looks like a branch with like bits of amber sort of stuck onto it.
Weird.
It's a Souls-like. It's not meant to make any sense.
Okay.
You spend tar and glimpses. Sure.
Okay.
To unlock memories of like the shell you're inhabiting, and it's a really cool idea actually, because the memories that you unlock, like they correlate to the abilities that you gain, like being able to you'll be able to like dodge further or dodge farther, and like the memory that you unlock that correlates that is like this person talking about how they had to duck and weave between a hail of arrows and they had to be very agile and which is a really cool way of like explaining how the shells you're occupying.
It sounds very like extensive.
It's not incredibly extensive per shell, but there are 4 different like shells that you can take on.
Okay.
Each one having sort of a different like play style. The one has like massive health but no stamina. The other one is like very sort of middle of the road, good at everything. That sort of thing.
Okay.
And I like that system of it. I think that's a really cool idea. What I utterly just detest about the game is that its healing system is beyond broken. Well, I think I haven't seen any other reviews talking about it, but I utterly hated the way that game deals with its healing. Because like the thing about like the Souls games and whatnot, and to a lesser extent Bloodborne, is that healing is obviously a very big part. You're going to take a lot of damage. You're going to die. You need to be able to heal up. You know, and that's where like the Estus flask comes in. I can't remember. Did Sekiro have something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, it did. It had the gourd.
Yeah, the gourd.
Yeah, it had the gourd. And so, it's a cool way of doing it because like it encourages players to like explore just a little bit further because they can rely on that healing charge if they mess up to, get them back on their feet. It's a really cool way of encouraging exploration in a world that is designed to kill you at every moment. Mortal Shell doesn't have that. Instead, Mortal Shell has a thing where you can harvest. You either harvest these things called wealth caps, which are mushrooms that grow in the environment, or you just have to buy healing.
Oh, that's stupid.
Which sucks. It sucks so much because it would be neat if you could just if you died, you can just walk. You can just optimize a route that lets you pick up the mushrooms, right? That you use to heal. But the mushrooms are on a cooldown. So you pick it up, you gotta wait 5 minutes for them to respawn. Doesn't matter if you die in between then. You still gotta wait that 5 minutes or however long it is. I'm guessing it's like roughly 3 minutes. Which sucks because what you then have forced to do is you're forced to farm the weaker enemies to gain currency, then go and spend currency on getting healing items when you want to be spending that currency on upgrading your abilities and whatnot. So it's this awful pattern of it's difficulty through tedium, which I don't think is a fair way to do difficulty. That's a game is not hard because it is boring.
Yeah.
I think it's a very poorly implemented healing system. I'm lying. There is another way that you can regain your health. Is that if you parry an enemy at the correct time, and then or block rather, and then you can do a counter attack, and that heals you up a little bit. The problem then is you have to then spend another resource called resolve. And if you don't have any resolve, which you get from hitting enemies, you don't heal on the parry. And the parry, when you do hit it, heals maybe roughly a fifth of your health.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to explore new areas, right, where there's new enemies, you don't know their attack patterns and whatnot, you don't exactly want to rely on that being your main sort of means to regenerate health because you don't know the enemy yet. The whole point of the Estus Flask system in Dark Souls is to encourage the player to learn the enemy attacks, mess it up a few times, and then heal up.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that shouldn't be the same process. But that was my biggest concern of the game. Other than that, it's a great game. It's got some great visuals, great character design and whatnot. But my goodness, it just becomes such a tedious chore to get anywhere because you don't want to go exploring. The game discourages you from progressing.
Yeah. Because it makes it harder.
Because it makes it hard, and it makes it more boring, basically. Which is just it's not great. The other thing I've been playing a lot of this week is Risk of Rain 2, which just that hit early access last week, and I think I got a review going up this coming Monday. And that is fantastic. I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain this week. It's a roguelike. It's a third-person shooter. You run around on planets, you kill lots of things, you pick up items, and if you die, you die, you lose everything, you start at the beginning. It's just good. You know what? You know why I haven't written a review yet?
Why?
I don't know what I'm gonna say about it other than it's just dang good.
It's a nice game.
It's just a real dang good old game. Good job. Good job, you Risk of Rain 2 devs. You did a good one. It's just that there's a nice spread of enemy variety between levels. There's a whole lot of unlockable characters that aren't just unlocked by playing the game. There's secret characters that you have to work for, and certain areas you have to find, and obscure tasks you have to complete. It feels very much like a proper true inspired roguelike. There are secrets galore in that game. There's decent pool of items that you can randomly get. Some you have to unlock, some you can just get organically. It's just a damn good game. Just a really it's a satisfying shooter as well. Because it is a shooter, and the amount of variety. I mean, you got your archer character, you got your character with your 2 pistols, you got the guy that lays mines. It's just a really good spread of variety, and roguelikes live and die by the amount of variety you can table. The only thing I want to say negative about it is that when I'm playing in co-op, as I was doing quite often this week, their game is a really awkward system when it comes to if one of your friends dies, in that you can't revive them. Instead, you have to finish the level by yourself, defeat the level's end boss, and then your friend is respawned into the next level.
Oh.
Which makes...
But they should probably rather just give you a window to go and revive them.
Well, see the thing is, my thinking is it is a roguelike. It needs to punish you for dying, right? Death has to have consequences. And my thing is, if a friend dies, you should be able to revive them at a cost. Like, you should have to spend money that you acquire.
Or an item.
Or an item to bring them back to life. That makes sense to me. It might not be great for the surviving player because they're being punished for not their mistake. But yeah, I don't know. So there is some work that... Just because I can't think of an idea now doesn't mean there isn't one.
But it's like in zombies, right? Call of Duty zombies. When you go down, you have a window of time where your friend can go and raise you, and if they don't, you die, and they need to finish the round by themselves.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah. So
could work.
A lot of games do that sort of windowed period. I was thinking because every level, every stage in Risk of Rain 2 ends with like you finding a teleporter, triggering the teleporter, the final boss spawns, kill it, move on to the next stage. I was thinking that in order to revive a person, and I was talking with Lily about this morning, in order to revive a person or your fallen comrade, you should go up to them, get a banner of sorts, take it to the teleporter, and by activating, by respawning them, it spawns like an additional wave of enemies, or like it increases the difficulty of that
that's a good
teleporter
idea.
a little bit more, you know? Yeah, so I think there's solutions to it. It just feels real shitty if like you're playing with a friend, they die, maybe because their internet is going through a bit of a rough spot, or they just weren't paying attention, and then they just have to sit and watch you play it, you know?
Yeah.
That just it doesn't feel great. Wait, what is that? Where were we going? Yeah, I think that's all I want to say about Risk of Rain 2. So now we can go on to the news.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about the news?
What has happened? A lot of politics.
Well, shall we pull up the trusty?
Let's start with the politics.
Let's pull up the. Listen, I'm gonna pull my laptop back up now, and we're gonna go to our news correspondent, Rocket. Rocket, come here, come. Rocket, you need. It's your.
He's looking at you. He's just ignoring you.
You are the news correspondent. This is your cue, and you need to do your job. See, if I call him Rocket, he doesn't like it. But if I go Rocket, look, you see, he's thinking about coming up.
Yeah, he's thinking about it.
Okay,
No,
I guess we're not getting
he's
into
very
news. Sorry,
nice.
that's the end of the podcast, I suppose. No, so the first thing we should talk about is the continued troubles between Epic Games and Apple/Google.
Yeah.
Now, I think you might know a little, not more about it, but I think that you are
Okay, so
slightly more invested in it than I am.
yeah, I like slamming Apple. So
Yeah, I love slamming an apple. Wake up in the morning,
slamming an
slam
apple.
an apple, get the day going. Love it.
So Apple has removed Fortnite from the store. You probably know this. It happened last week.
What?
Yes.
No way.
And Google
No way.
also
Apple
removed
removed
them.
Google and users.
No, Google also removed Fortnite, which isn't a problem in itself. Like,
No.
you can play Fortnite almost anywhere else.
Yeah.
But
I'm just pulling up the article that you wrote for the site.
sure.
Just
sure.
so.
Do your thing. So now Epic, which are the developers for Fortnite, are suing Apple and Google.
They released a little bit of a silly trailer.
They released, but I feel the trailer is a non-issue.
We spoke about it a lot last week.
Yeah, I don't think we need to talk about the trailer.
What I wanted to more speak to you about was how Apple essentially blacklisting everything to do with
Yeah.
Epic.
So, as we know, the people behind Epic also handle stuff to do with Unreal Engine, and almost all games are made on Unreal Engine. a lot of games, like a lot of AAA games, a lot of smaller games, like
it's a really robust, well-built engine that caters for a lot.
And it's, as far as I understand, free to use for developers.
I think there's an open paid. Yeah, there is an open
source.
There is an open source
but not the point. So now Apple is like blatantly blackmailing Fortnite or Epic Games by saying that if they don't, I think the deadline is next week Friday.
Let me check.
If they don't change their payment system in accordance to the Apple Store's fees, so Apple can make their 30% cut from all V-Bucks sales, then they will withdraw Epic's access to all Apple developer programs.
It is next week Friday.
Yeah. So what that means is that if Fortnite doesn't comply and they don't give Apple their 30% on all sales through the app, then they won't have access to any developer programs.
So the thing is, if Apple goes ahead and removes anything to do with Unreal, right? There's two ways I want to go here. One, does that not hurt a lot of small developers that have nothing to do with Epic, other than the fact that they use the engine?
Yeah.
Like how does that
work? The thing is there's in the papers filed or whatever, the statement made, they never mentioned Unreal Engine, but
because it's an Epic property.
It's a property of Epic, they will automatically everyone will lose access to all of. So then those developers that use Unreal Engine won't be able to develop any games or apps for any Apple platform, whether it is iPhone, iPad, or Mac.
Which is really
weird.
It's a real collateral damage.
If you consider Apple is focusing on Apple Arcade, which is their gaming subscription service, like how many of those games are built on Unreal?
Probably a decent.
And even further, they won't be able to build updates for their games.
Yeah, that's true as well. So those games will just stop being supported entirely.
Yeah. It's a weird fight.
It's a weird fight, but that's also if that is the case, and I'm not sure if it is, because we would need to check how that would impact people who just use Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
If that is the case, that is Apple basically saying you don't give a shit about anyone themselves. Yeah. Because that collateral damage that they're willing to go to and hurt a lot of small developers, probably even double studios, just to get back at Epic is ridiculous.
It's massive.
No, it's hectic. The other thing is surely by taking off or by denying an engine like Unreal 4 or 3, whatever it is 4. I don't know if you use that specific one to design mobile games. By basically blacklisting that off the App Store, does that not put Apple into a worse position than does Epic?
Well, it could potentially.
Because I mean, Epic can still get the Unreal Engine across on PC, consoles, whatever. But it feels like that situation where Apple needs games to use Unreal more than it does.
The thing is, I think once Apple, or the spokesperson that said these statements, once they realize like what the impact on them could be. They will probably withdraw. Like I'm sure they won't go ahead with.
It would be wild if they did that.
Because it's this weird power move from their side. Like why would you Why would you potentially harm your own company,
your own app store and the apps on just to get back at Epic?
It's very
strange.
weird.
No, it would be a very, very weird move. Talking about weird moves. Give me a second. I'm gonna get there. Give me a second. I'm getting there. Give me a second. Call of Duty is weird. Got there.
Dude, if you haven't yet, go and watch that trailer.
Yeah, there was a trailer released for Call of Duty.
It's some peak trailer.
It's a really good
levels.
Trailer.
Yes, it's a good trailer.
And I always find it strange that I go into like Call of Duty, a new Call of Duty every year, and it's particularly the trailers, thinking
another one,
and then I watch the trailer and I'm always a bit like, Okay, I'll play that. No, that looks pretty good. Every time I say to myself, not this year. But then I watch the trailer, I look pretty good. I'm pretty good. Every time they do it to me. It does have a stupid name.
It has a stupid name, but like I get it. I understand why they did it.
No, I understand why the Black Ops. So the full title is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. 7 words. There should definitely be 2 colons in. I'm sorry, Call of Duty Black Ops. It should be Call of Duty : Black Ops.
No, you can't have 2 colons.
I know you can't do it, but then don't name it a stupid name.
No, but see, so when people talk about it, they're not gonna say the Call of Duty part because it's not important.
Yeah, they'll just say they'll just say Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah, even the cover, like the covers will probably just be Black Ops Cold War. It won't be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. It will just be Black Ops Cold War.
Well, the official logo that they've shown is the full name.
No, I know.
Oh, but you're saying for the bar. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure, I get what you're saying. What was I gonna say? I understand why they don't want to get rid of the Black Ops. It is just such a.
But it is the Black Ops here.
Brand. It is a Black Ops here, and it's an iconic branding for them.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
It makes total sense. It looks really good. It's apparently inspired by real life events, which means to me that they've taken a rumor that was started in real life and have just run with it basically.
Probably.
A rumor that there was a CIA infiltration
by Russia.
By some Russian operative, Soviet operative by the name of Perseus. Who's apparently a real dude. And a real thing that happened.
Was that footage a real person?
Yeah, that person was Yuri Bremenov, yeah.
Oh.
He was a fairly public defector and spoke out against the Soviet Union quite a bit. So what was I gonna say? I keep forgetting my train of thought. Man, I'm hungry. Really, I feel like I let myself go a little bit on the weekend because I'm very good in the week. I'm very good.
You're
very good in the week. It's getting home a little bit now. The whole trailer was about this Yuri Bremenov talking about how Russia was essentially trying to destabilize America with this process called active measures, which is all about destabilization, normalization, stuff like that. And it doesn't really show a lot about what we can expect in terms of gameplay, but the general vibe of Soviet era Cold War bullshittery. Man, stamp my ticket, book me on that train to the station because I will ride it. I just the Cold War's cool.
It is cool. But I want to be on Russia's side. Just to be different.
Yeah, because Call of Duty does have a very storied history of always painting the Russians as being the scum of the earth.
Yeah, it's anti-Russian propaganda.
A lot of it's very anti-Russian, especially
very hectic.
You know the controversy with Modern Warfare when then.
Yeah, there was some weird scene in it.
Well, there wasn't necessarily a weird scene, but they go out of their way to say that the highway of death, which is a real life massacre, was Russia's fault.
Yeah.
When in real life, America was the ones that did it. And it's just well, guys, you can't really say that because you did it.
Yeah, that was interesting.
But yeah, Russia's always been shafted by a hard team, so it will be interesting to see. I have a suspicion. My suspicion is that you playing as this Agent Perseus.
So we know there's a campaign. Obviously, there's a story.
There's a campaign.
We know. I hope there's a multiplayer. There should be a multiplayer. It's Black Ops. We'll probably have one.
I think it's gonna have a traditional multiplayer. I don't think it's gonna have a battle royale.
No, I don't think it will have a battle royale. I think they're continuing with Warzone.
I think they put it.
And I also think, I hope there's a zombies.
I do hope. Modern Warfare didn't have zombies, which was Black Ops 4. Did Black Ops 4 have zombies?
I think so. Yeah, I did.
Didn't have zombies.
Yeah.
Oh yes, because even the battle royale mode on that had a zombies area.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it could very well have those 3, but I don't think. I'm hoping it doesn't have a battle royale. It'd be very weird to try and be supporting Warzone and.
I don't think they'll do it.
I don't think they'll do it either. I think it'd be.
Because they've been very good at keeping Warzone busy and updated with new content.
No,
so
they've been very good at supporting Warzone.
I think they'll keep with that.
I keep wanting to give that game another go, and then every time I want to try it out, it's 200 gigs, and I'm well, half my Steam library then has to be deleted just for Warzone.
But even on the so we're on the PlayStation. It's insane to have that game on your PlayStation.
No, it's ridiculous. It's so stupid. Anyway. Nothing
What else happened?
What else happened? We can talk about. I don't know how much this means to you, but there is a potential Prince of Persia remake.
So I know Heath loves Prince of Persia. Like it's one of his favorite games. Yeah.
I'm going to assume the original. Well, I'm going to assume the Sands of Time because there was one in '89. That was like a weird 2D side-scrolling thing on the Amiga, I think it was. And it was on MS-DOS. It wasn't on MS-DOS. And then they rebooted it.
Can I see the pictures?
You can see the pictures. That's the Sands of Time from PS2. It's also on PC, right? This is the one that they're apparently remaking. It's
Sands of Time.
Sands of Time, apparently. It's just really,
Heath is freaking out in the comments.
It was a strange sort of leak because what happened was it was a Guatemalan online retailer that listed a Prince of Persia remake. And you know what? I don't want to be mean to Guatemala, but they're not the first country I'm gonna trust when it comes to video game leaks, if I'm honest. And everyone is sort of like.
So you think it's not true?
No, I do think it's true because then Jason Schreier, who writes for Bloomberg, he was with Kotaku. He's got a lot of good contacts inside the industry. Has basically said, yeah, no, it's true, and it was meant to be announced in the next year forward.
Oh,
yeah.
Which is only next year.
No, it's next month.
Oh, next month.
Yeah, next month. I think they're doing one more to punt Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But beyond the fact that we know that Prince of Persia is getting remastered, that's a winner. It could be the entire trilogy. Be cool. Put it on Switch. Play that whole trilogy again. Just be the first game. Could be a remake of the first game, ground up. Because look, graphically it hasn't aged all that well. I think gameplay it's fine. I think the controls are a little bit wonky. Last time I played the game like 2 years ago. A little bit wonky, but it's fine.
Rocket wants to give his input.
No, listen. Okay, do you want to talk about Prince of Persia now? Come, do you want to talk about Prince of Persia?
Go, Rocket.
Go on.
Or he just wants to be on the carpet.
No, I think he's just cold and spin the carpet. I'm hiding my face.
Go say hello.
There you go. Rocket, your thoughts on a potential Prince of Persia remake?
No, it's...
You think it's boring? Really? No way. You're not a fan? You're more of an Assassin's Creed guy, aren't you? Listen, Prince of Persia walks Assassin's Creed with run. No, I know you can. I know you know that. I'm just telling you. Okay? Okay, look, you don't need to take that to me. I'll just...
so uninterested.
What I want, and I don't know what I'm hoping Keith isn't going to kick the door down and smack me in the face. I want to remaster that 2008 like cel shaded Prince of Persia because that game was so good and people hated it because it wasn't like the original, but it was so good nonetheless. Maybe better. That might be.
I believe you.
That might be a crunch.
Unless Heath doesn't agree, then
yes,
I don't
you're
believe.
more likely to. You're sort of your responsibility.
Yes.
Microsoft has is killing Internet Explorer.
Who cares?
Okay, let's not talk about that. Oh, come on. Internet Explorer has been around since before either of us was born. I think. It's been.
What does it say? When was it made? When was Internet Explorer made?
When was Internet Explorer?
I don't think so.
When was Internet Explorer? If I could type, good lord. 1995. It was the year I was born.
I was already born.
You were already born. You were like what? 2?
Yes.
You were 2, okay? Internet Explorer has been around for a long ass time. And now Microsoft, after years of people memeing it to hell, have said it's time to die. They're taking it out.
Probably about 10 years after people stopped using it.
Yeah. Microsoft is taking Internet Explorer out to the nice Palm Lake, just down from the farm, and putting a bullet in the back of its head.
Yeah.
Just like they're doing with Edge. Old Edge. Legacy Edge is what.
Old Edge.
New Edge is still good.
Yeah, New Edge is good. Chrome Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Actually,
well, it's basically Chrome.
It's basically Chrome, but I'm actually, at the moment, I'm enjoying using it more than Chrome because Chrome keeps telling me that my account is too new
Yeah, we'll need to figure that out.
We'll need to figure that out. But
Something's wrong.
At the moment, I'm enjoying. Oh, you're pulling my truck. You're
stuck.
choking yourself,
It's
you
stuck.
silly dog.
Okay, it's fine.
Thank you for participating. Please go sit in the green room, get something to drink.
So we are gonna play some games later.
We are going to play some games later. I'm going to play VR for the first time.
For the first time. Yeah, we're gonna do VR.
Apparently, I've been signed up to play VR.
I hope it's charged. I think it is.
Oh, if it's not charged, then we are selling people dreams. Also, can we bring a bucket into the room? Because I get very badly motion sick. That's why I don't go on roller coasters.
I love roller coasters.
One, because I get motion sick. Two, because I'm dumb.
Sure, I can see that.
Yes, thank you.
But we're gonna do that. It's gonna be
what are we
Brad's first time. You're gonna be surprised.
Oh, am I going to be surprised? Oh,
Yes.
surprised.
Actually, I just don't know. But
Okay.
we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. That was the StuffCast. We did a quick rundown.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Please tune in next Thursday. Good Lord, let it be Thursday this time. Please, Escom.
We can do this.
Please, Escom.
Yes.
Be Thursday.
Let's work together
Yes, I believe in
and
you.
bring the
Tough
world.
times. Tough times never last.
Only tough people
Only
last.
tough people last. Thank you for watching, everyone. Sleep well.
Oh, we're seeing them just now. We're seeing them just now.
We're seeing them
They
just
put
now.
us to sleep
Yes,
now.
no, but this is my podcast name. This is my podcast persona that I put on. I did a cool wink. Did you even fucking see? I was like, sleep.
No,
I did a cool
I
wink.
don't look at you.
What?
My nose.